Welcome to the Lancaster City Council meeting. City Clerk.
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Members Hughes Leslie.
Present.
Molly absent. Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The invocation tonight is Rocky Villanueva from Grace Chapel. Is Rocky here? Ah, there you are.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Almighty God, thank you so much for being a God of compassion and a God of love, a God of grace upon grace. Thank you for your perfect, holy, and righteous Son, Jesus. Lord, we do pray at your will for this blessed time, a time when our leaders come together to make decisions that have an impact upon our community. Lord, I do pray for insight, wisdom, and discernment. Thank you for all involved. To you be the honor and glory. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any items on the successor agency consent calendar to pull?
No, sir.
Any speaker cards?
None.
Is there a motion and a second?
Motion to adopt resolution 4-24 and SACC 1.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. It's unanimous with Rajmali absent. Do we know what's,
Yeah, he reached out. He had some personal issues he was dealing with.
okay, is there a motion to excuse?
I'll make a motion to excuse Councilmember Rajmali.
Second.
Let's vote.
Just do it orderly.
It's approved unanimously.
We need to pull CC 4.
Yeah, Mayor Paris, I may have a conflict with, due to proximity of owning property to one of these projects.
I thought you owned half the city. How do you?
Right,
No, he changed it for the parts in Hawaii.
yeah. Yeah, I did.
Wait a minute, he's running. Let's not go too deep.
Yeah,
They'll say you don't live here.
Oh,
yeah. Okay,
Mr. Mann, do you live in Hawaii?
yeah, right.
Well,
We've had that conversation
apparently that's a
before.
legitimate question these days, isn't it? Okay.
so I'll make a motion,
Any speaker cards?
no speaker cards, to
Okay.
accept the consent calendar as currently comprised, pulling CC 4.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously. Mr. Mann is leaving the room.
Motion to approve CC 4.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's vote. It passes unanimously. Mr. Mann, you can come back. So I'm at the public hearing now?
Yes.
Okay. PH1, public hearing is now open. Any speaker cards?
I think we have one. Yes.
Okay, can we hear the staff report?
Good evening. There's an isolated portion of 35th Street West north of Avenue M4 and southwest of the gated community of Los Hermanos Estates that staff recommends vacating to prevent illegal passage and trespassing in the abutting neighborhood and private property fences. As you can see in the graphic, there's mostly vacant property on the west side, and what people are doing is they're coming up the road and then they're very hidden And that piece of road currently doesn't lead to anywhere. It's just the back of the HOA community. And so that's why we're requesting that it be vacated.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Camacho?
Council members, thank you for your time. Gus Camacho, I'm a resident of Los Hermanos, and I happen to live right along that back road that we're addressing here. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for all the hard work you do in making sure that this community is safe and everything that you do to help prevent and stop burglaries and thefts from occurring. That area back there is traveled by a lot of people that really shouldn't be back there, including people that drive along that area dumping items in the back, and also individuals that are looking to see if they might be able to break into the homes that are back there. In the last couple of years, we've had 5 homes along that area that have been broken into, including mine. Last year, my home was burglarized. Fortunately, my family wasn't home. It was done right when it got dark, and normally my family is home. But I don't know if anyone here has been burglarized before, but it's a pretty scary situation to know that somebody was in your home and going through all your stuff. And we had items taken, which really wasn't of the concern. The big thing was the safety. You know, after that, we were scared. You know, we didn't know if they were going to come back or what was going to happen. There's no reason to have that road open to access. There's nothing back there. It's only being used, like I mentioned, to scope out the homes and also for illegal dumping back there. So I support the vacating of that area and the staff's recommendation. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I think you guys all know.
Gus, on those roads that butt up against it, the houses there, do any of them have gates that are opening to that road?
No, they're all closed. There's
So
yeah,
isn't it
there's
just a
none.
block wall?
Yeah, they're all block wall. It's just a block wall going all the way.
And there's no gates in there?
There's no gates. The only area that's got gates is at the end of the looks like it's maybe 35th Street when it gets to the clubhouse. But that gate does not open. It's just it is a gate, but it's solid. It's closed. But yeah, it's all block walls.
Well, we can either close it or rename it Burglars Road.
There we go. Easy access road. I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
I move we adopt resolution 24-13.
I'll second that motion.
I think you contributed to my campaign last night, night before last, or something, right? What does that mean?
Was that in an amount well, the contribution was last night?
I'm sorry,
The contribution was last night?
2 nights ago.
Okay.
2
Prudently,
nights ago, was it?
prudently, you should recuse.
I'm sorry, what?
You should recuse out of an abundance of caution without knowing the amount of the contribution. I would recommend you recuse.
Do I leave the room?
Step out, please, yes.
All yours, man.
Okay, out of the abundance of caution, I'm going to redo the entire PH1. So we heard that, do you need a staff report?
No, I'm good.
You need one? Gus, we heard what you said. I'll close the public hearing. I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 24-13.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Let's vote. It passes unanimously with a mayor recusing himself. Thank you, guys.
Okay, new business item 1. Any speaker cards?
None.
Let's waive the staff reading. Right. Is there a motion?
I'll move we accept NB1.
I'll second.
Let's vote. And it's unanimous. Okay, council agenda. I'm nominating for the appointment to deputy mayor, Heather Varden, deputy mayor of service coordination and community empowerment. Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards. I'll second the nomination.
And Heather, do you have your speech ready? No, I'm kidding you. Okay. Any discussion? Let's vote. You are the new deputy mayor. Wait a minute, aren't you running against me? Come on up so I can swear you in. We'll do it under the God We Trust sign.
Heather Varden,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. What's the date? Now, you win and I lose when you're appointed. Sorry. Yes, of course. Think she's done or? Okay, great. You okay? Council reports? Anything? Well,
Yeah.
haven't you guys been busy? Oh, go on.
I did the TDA Article 8 hearing for unmet transportation needs at AVTA. Santa Clarita, City of Palmdale, City of Lancaster, and Catalina all vie for unused money. So we see if there's any unmet transportation needs, and if there is, we fix them, or try to fix them with the money that we have, and otherwise, the money goes towards paving operations. That's what it can be used for. So it's very important. So we found nothing.
You didn't get any money?
No, we got all the money because we didn't find anything wrong.
Oh, good. So where are
I'll
we,
show you how to do that.
what does that mean? No. Where are we on providing transportation for people who are too drunk to drive, leaving the bars?
We're working with it to see if we can take them there and take them out of there. So we're working with a contract to be able to do that.
Do you have any indication of when we'll be able to announce something?
None, because we're working with all the lifts to do that with. So it's a contract with everyone, and we're seeing if it would be better if we just did it ourselves with the manpower that we have.
Okay. Keep me advised, would you?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, that's it on the council reports?
No, oh, go ahead, Ken.
I had I don't know if it was the pleasure or not, to sit through about a 2.5-hour presentation for Southern California Association of Governments. And what that 2.5 hours was, ended up being a forum where they brought all the transportation experts in California together. So a good part of them representing the, what would be the rails, and then also the trucking industry. And the crazies, I call them crazies, have decided that they've got a sunset date set, and I think it was either 8 or 10 years out, where you will no longer be able to run diesel locomotives in the state of California.
What are they gonna run?
Ah,
How are they gonna power them?
yeah. So, hydrogen was one of the discussions.
Oh, hydrogen,
So when somebody says, why
that's
are
the
we working?
hydrogen we're gonna make, right?
Right.
Yes.
Somebody says, why are we working on hydrogen? I just want to make sure that people are aware that the government in Sacramento, meaning the state of California, has made this decision. So if you think sometimes the ideas that come across the dais, i.e. hydrogen, that was one of the solutions from a standpoint of work through. Obviously, the problem is these guys are passing law, and young ladies are passing laws, and we're a little bit behind the 8 ball right now with technology, because they were talking about the struggles with getting locomotives up that are running, and then what, they'd have to build fueling stations. And then over on the trucking side, because again, that applies to trucks, then they got into a discussion about, okay, then the solution would be either an all-electric truck or a hydrogen truck. And then the trucking industry was concerned about how far you can go with an electric truck. So then there was a discussion about the needing of all this warehouse space in regular increments of about every hour, hour and a half drive time, because that's about all electric truck can handle. So it was a real interesting 2.5 hours of going back and forth, listening to industry experts, shaking their head about the hurdles that they're going to have to leap over to be in compliance. Just thought I'd share.
You know, we've always been plagued by people wanting to look at the most available solutions. You know, hydrogen is eventually going to power, I think, those trucks, but we're not ready yet. What hydrogen we should be looking at is to power our houses, because you can put a fuel cell and take a whole neighborhood off the grid. And it's relatively easy to keep that fuel cell fueled, because we have the ability to do that without having to make huge infrastructure changes. But people think about alternative fuel and they want to look at the cars, they want to look at the buses, they want to, you know. Certainly we've demonstrated that electric buses are the most viable right now for buses. I don't know that that's true for trucking. In fact, I suspect it's not. But, you know, if we could just fuel the houses with it, our climate extinction issues go away. Lancaster becomes incredibly profitable for providing that hydrogen. But, you know, people will work it out.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's ridiculous to be
Yeah.
looking at that for the trucking industry, at least the national, you know, interstate trucking.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that was
seem-
the discussion. They were thinking, well, gee, if you own property at state line, you might be in a sweet spot, because obviously, I don't think Arizona or Nevada have made a decision to outlaw diesel locomotives, so that may be the stopping point, and then they'll move to a different alternative solution for the state of California. But very interesting to listen to experts in the industry, both over on the rail side and trucking side, shake their heads and explain about we're running as fast as we can to try to get technology where it needs to be. They even talked about autonomous trailers. Rather than a truck pull a trailer, they were talking about an autonomous trailer that would have a preloaded destination, and it would just go down the highway. So,
I think it's inevitable. Toyota now has a vehicle where you can tow a trailer, but you don't actually hook it up. It's a wireless, it's the most weirdest thing I've ever seen, but it really works. So we're going to see huge advancements. And, depending on how rapidly the hydrogen develops, right, we are going to be in a position where we could lower people's taxes, but we don't really have a vehicle to do that because we get it from the county and we get it from sales tax and, But we should start exploring, is there going to be a point where we can pick up their waste management fees? I think that's as I've been exploring, how do we get, after we meet all of the needs of the city and we still have a surplus, how do we get that back to the people in the city? And I'm thinking that may be the start. What if we provided free trash service? That's a significant impact on people. But if we actually paid for it, but we're going to need some economists to do the projections so that we can be ahead of the game and be ready for it. You follow me? Make sense? Does not make sense? Tell me why it does not make sense.
There's a lot of things that we can do. Ken was talking about the trucks, long haul, it's better to use hydrogen. Short haul, better to use electric. It's just, there's a lot of things the city is lacking, so we're a long way from that.
although I believe we're on the right track with hydrogen.
There's no doubt.
I don't care what
You guys
any,
told me we were a long way from the solar and the buses
and look, and now we're seeing that in the rearview mirror.
and that's in the rear view mirror. I'm just saying, get ready. Get ready. Despite what people say, we're not going to be here forever. I'd like to
No.
have some plans in place.
No. All I know is when the industry experts that sit on that panel representing, again, the Southern California Association of Government, you could tell that they were shaking their head and realizing that, because again, some of their issues were, we're not there with technology. Nothing's been proven yet. We think this is the right way to go. It was very interesting to hear the back and forth and people asking questions and, but anyway, again, people just do not understand some of the hoops that we jump through in dealing with Sacramento. But anyway, I think we're on the right track with hydrogen.
Good, thank you.
And then Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I'm going to brag about my alma mater for a minute. So every March, the United States Military Academy at West Point celebrates Founders Day, and all the alums across the world, we celebrate Founders Day, and we talk about obviously our founding, but then also the legacy and the current state of the cadets. And my husband and I had the opportunity to celebrate Founders Day down in LA, and we heard from the superintendent himself, General Gilland, and he talked about how the cadets more than ever are brighter, fitter, more innovative, and it made me think of our city, our community. But he talked about three things particular that made me think of our community. He talked about how it takes more than just one individual. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. And he talked about how we're a team. And I genuinely think about that within our community. It takes partnerships, it takes collaboration, it takes people coming together. He talked about how, it's mindset. You can't just look at the problems because the world is going to continue to change. It doesn't matter what era you're in. West Point was founded in 1802. I can tell you they had problems then, just like they have problems today. And he said, we don't have time to be negative. We have to be positive, and we need to look at our challenges as opportunities to be innovative. And he said these cadets are more innovative than ever. And I look at the city of Lancaster as that. We don't look at our challenges as problems. We look at them as opportunities to challenge ourselves and be creative, be innovative. And I look at the staff, Jason, and I think that's how you lead the staff. I look at the council, and I think that's how we are. Like, how do we face this challenge in an innovative way? Yes, it's scary, but I'm just so proud to be a part of this council and this team. And then the last thing, he said, you know what, it takes grit. There's a book out there that's called Grit, and they did a study on West Point cadets, and that's where they kind of defined the word grit. So I say all that to say, that made me think of us. It made me think of the city of Lancaster. And I say all that to segue into what have I been up in the last couple of weeks. And I want to highlight some of my teammates, our teammates. It makes me think of the Children's Center appointing their new executive director. So shout out to them for what they're doing in our community. It makes me think of Dale DeBry, who just celebrated her retirement over at the Antelope Valley Cemetery. Her hard work over, Ken? We were there together. How many years did she serve this community?
Well, I know well over 15 years.
15 years.
And they were on the verge of bankruptcy too and
That woman has given so much of her time and energy to this community. And then, gosh, we just attended a neighborhood watch last night. I can't think of just one person. It was a whole community in Portofino Estate coming together. And I know we had people from our Lancaster Police Department there. We had people from sheriffs, leaders, teammates coming together to make our city better. And then lastly, Hope of the Mission. They just had their grand opening on Sierra Highway. Mayor, if we could copy paste down Sierra Highway, this community would be better off.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
So just thank you to all our teammates out there. Thank you to my alma mater for just reinvigorating that in me. I'm really proud of this community. So if we could all look at our challenges as opportunities to be more innovative, to have that mindset, and I just think we'll be a better community for it. And thank you, Mayor, for giving us that innovative mindset.
Thank you. And now you know why she sits there. You're perfect. Thank you. City Manager.
Well, that's going to be hard to follow. We did have a video of the groundbreaking, Rex, that you and Lauren and Ken attended. We'll play that video right now.
Raleigh-Bentley is a highly used and well-loved community park. And as part of the development of this project, the department held a series of stakeholder community engagement meetings to really garner what the community wanted in this park and what improvements they thought were important. So the community overwhelmingly identified the playground and the basketball courts as top priorities. So I'm happy to say that those are the amenities this project will focus on.
Not only are we making the parks a much better experience, much more interactive experience, it's going to be a much safer experience. And this is Raleigh-Bentley is the park we're going to start with, and then we're going to quickly go from one park to the next park. A park is not a campground. A park is not a place for people to live. It's a place for people to play, and we're going to restore that.
the new equipment is going to be all fully ADA accessible, and pretty exciting, you know, because we're going to be able to accommodate everybody. And people sharing today about, you know, I grew up here, and came to this park when I was little.
This is such a full circle moment for me. I too attended Bethel Christian just down the street from here, and while I grew up playing at this park, I get to bring my children to play here at this park. It's just so exciting, and the impact is tremendous. I'm very excited for our community.
That was a fun morning.
We also have another groundbreaking happening tomorrow, so we encourage the community to come and join us. A groundbreaking of the new police department and the police station. So it's a beginning construction now. We're announcing that tomorrow, so come join us. It's at 10 a.m. tomorrow at the Lancaster Police Station, which is the former school district building and the original MOA Museum, or the Museum of Art and History. So come out and join us. It'll be a great event to begin the construction of that facility, which will be done by budget next year, around June. So we'll have fully operational by then. Come and see us out there. We also have a ring giveaway with regard to the digital shield. We've been asking the community to join us in that effort. We're giving away 800 ring cameras on Thursday. We hope to do that on a quarterly basis. And not only Ken and Lauren, you guys mentioned the neighborhood watch, also giving those out to participating neighborhood watches to kind of share those videos, use that technology to make our community safer, and we're going to be doing that Thursday. Those are first come, first serve, so the 800 who got it know, but just know that there'll be more coming out and more opportunities to join the effort and being part of that digital shield as a community. So with that, I have no other comments.
Thank you. So at the park, we talked about fencing off the parks and doing it very much like they do it in Europe with very big fences. They're very attractive. I mean, they're expensive. They're wrought iron, but they're 12 feet high. Could be even higher. I mean, they're really big. But it may be the best solution, most cost-effective solution. We close the parks at 11. We sweep the parks at 11, reopen them at 6, and we don't have this problem there. It just won't be there. So when staff starts preparing that proposal, it has to be an attractive fence, but at the same time, it has to be substantial, right? So you want to keep that in mind when you send it out for proposals, okay? Thank you. Anything else? City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards may be found on the back table of the council chambers. If you have completed one, please ensure you have placed it in the basket so you may be recognized. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please keep in mind, state law prohibits the council from acting on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the city manager. Thank you.
David Paul.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, good evening. Thank you, Mayor, for talking about offsetting some of the fees for the garbage. That would be a big thing because I know that particularly affects senior citizens more than any other class of people. You know, we have an election and it's so fun to participate. And Mayor, I was thinking the other day, I have a newspaper clipping that's in some of the papers I have. It's from the first debate where you're reaching over the table telling Arnie Rodeo, that's why you'll never be mayor. That's a great picture. And we don't have anything like that anymore, and I kind of miss it. But looking back to all that, and I know that Ken was in the room when that happened, but I was at the table with you, and I just had to remember that I've been with you every step of the way in all this. Isn't that amazing? That I got to ride this train with you. Thank you. It's been such a pleasure to participate. And Lauren, that was beautiful what you said, because that's what it is. It's about coming up with ideas that understand the problems are there, but we need to get past it in a way that helps everybody feel like they're part of it. And we're working on that. Now, hopefully, as the last act of the election, the newspaper will print, they had a few questions of what would you do with this, this, and this, and this. And I combined 5 questions into 2 answers, basically the plan and how we do it and why we do it. But we need innovation, and the future is not going to be what we think. And I think that the idea of starting to look into some large-scale desalinating of water is a good idea, because I don't care what the experts can. When you were talking about being in a room with all the experts, I'm going, yeah. I prefer to hold my own opinion, you know, and that's kind of how it is. That's the nice thing about being me. I've worked in trucking and some of these other things, so I've had a lot of exposure to things, and we can do better in a lot of ways. So we're going to meet the future, and I just love that Heather is up there now as deputy mayor. I love this city. So thank you, and I can't wait to see what's next. I'll do whatever I can to help. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Aubrey McPherson? No, that's not how it works. What? That's not how it works. It's one person at a time.
Hello, council members. How are you this evening? So as you may have seen on the blue card, if you've gotten a chance to read it or not, I'm actually here to represent my own interests along with other people that might have expressed their own, but really I'm here on behalf of myself. The reason that I'm here is because there's a major concern with some of your social media management. I've also already mailed out a certified letter for a cease and desist, requesting that the city council and also that the city of Lancaster refrain from moderating and also denying the public their opportunity to create public comment or public discourse on your social media profile filings. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'm sure Mr. Paris might be, but it's actually illegal to remove comments from a social media posting. It's actually illegal to deny the public their discourse in an effort to question or in an effort to raise concern when it comes to their government or the way that their government is managed. And we're allowed to do that in a public forum. Facebook being a questionable forum, as I'm sure you can imagine, you might assume that it's not considered a public forum, but what I can tell you is that according to Davison versus Randall of 2019, it is considered that. In addition to that, there's also numerous case laws that are associated to that that also state that any type of public communication in a public forum that is funded by the government, meaning that if you are paying staff to manage those social media accounts, that's coming from public funds, which means it's my tax dollars, it's everyone sitting in this room's tax dollars, and that because we are paying the salary of anyone that is managing those accounts, that becomes a public forum, which means that you don't have to like what we have to say. In fact, you can 100% disagree with it. But what you cannot do is deny us our U.S. constitutional rights, which are obligated and given to us as a fundamental right underneath the First Amendment that gives us freedom of speech. And yet, as of this time, City of Palmdale doesn't deny their residents the opportunity to create public discourse or to question anything that gets posted. County of Los Angeles doesn't deny anyone for any of their social media pages. State of California doesn't even deny anyone. But yet, for some reason, the City of Lancaster seems to think that they are above the law. As a citizen, a tax-paying resident of Lancaster, I'm concerned by that. I'm extremely concerned in the fact that it's a misappropriation of my public funds in which I pay to the City of Lancaster for you guys to manage that forum. And yet you have denied us the opportunity in an effort to raise our voice, to address our concerns, and to address the matters that matters most to us. So for your records, for review, which I know you can't make any decision today, I will leave it with your city manager to disperse to you. But I have already sent you a certified letter. This is just a copy of it for your records, along with some case laws for you guys to review. I'm hoping that you guys will bring this up at a future meeting in an effort to get it properly addressed, to create policies, to make it an encompassing forum for everybody to participate in. Thank you.
Not yet. Mr. Miller, did you want to say something, or do you confine yourself to vile comments on the internet? I just, either way, you can come up here and talk to us directly, or you can still do your comments where you say the most outrageous, vile garbage. But it's up to you. It's up to you. Would you like to come up and tell us what you wanted to say?
I have to disagree with you saying that I'm posting vile stuff on the website, and it's the county, it's the city website. It's not Facebook. The city website, what I question some of the posts that you put up or they put up about your achievements, and for that,
I don't put posts on the city website.
well, a lot has been posted on the city website, and I have disagreed with it. There's been an
Well, come on,
enormous.
let's be fair, Mr. Miller. It's not that you disagree with it. It's that you like to do really nasty postings.
No,
You like to do things that you know are not necessarily true. You like to post things that make people. You know, we're not here to have a website for you to trash our city. We're just not.
I disagree with what you say 100%. I have never been disrespectful on it. I have questioned some of your posts on the mayoral site, which you've banned me from. And with the city, it's not just me. On the city website, there was an enormous responses to many of the postings. And a lot of them, most of them, probably were viewed as impacting an election campaign negatively. The timing's terrible, and all of a sudden, hundreds, if not thousands, of posts have been deleted, and the ability to comment was taken away. It's terrible. So,
May I ask a question, Mayor? Not Major. Look, reverting back to the Army, you wouldn't be a major. May I ask a question, sir? And I'm not quite familiar what the exchange is. I have small children, and I'll ask both of you gentlemen. My kiddos, under supervision, go on the internet. I let them play on their iPads. I just want to know if we're talking about the City of Lancaster Facebook page, and this goes for everyone. I would like to think that we're posting informative events, activities, and I would like to think that our City of Lancaster Facebook page is for families. So if the engagement of what's happening on our City of Lancaster Facebook page is not family-friendly, then from my standpoint, I don't want it. If it's not family-friendly, sir, kindly, if what you're doing, Mr. Mayor, if what you're doing on our City of Lancaster Facebook page is not family-friendly, I don't want it. All due respect, sir. And that's my question. You don't have to answer it publicly, but if you can answer that inside.
With all due respect, I have never put anything up there inappropriate or what I feel like a child would read and find it inappropriate. What he's saying, he's accusing me of posting vile comments. None of it's been vile. It's been responding to some of his achievements, which I'm questioning him, and he doesn't like to be questioned.
That's not true. Actually, I enjoy being questioned.
Right.
I enjoy having the discussion. What I don't enjoy is going on to our city's website and seeing posted like, what was it? The mayor is a C*NT. Do you think people really should read that stuff?
Well, that wasn't me.
Okay, then why
Now you're
why are
making
you
an accusation. I posted
we
that.
can't-
I did not post that. I did not post anything like that.
You know, the fact of the matter is most of those people that are posting are from the Palmdale Freedom Coalition. They have nothing to do with Lancaster. They only purpose is to trash our city. I mean, you can trash me on my Facebook page.
No, we
but
can't.
Don't trash me on the city's
No,
page.
we can't. You don't put up with that. You block people immediately when that
Actually,
happens.
what occurs is the ad agency that sends those ads out, when they refresh the ad, it takes out the comments. I have nothing to do with it. that's what occurs. It's just part of the process within social media. But that's not really the issue. You know, the issue is there's a book coming out next week from Jonathan Haidt, who is a well-respected psychologist. He's written many books. And this book is about how the depression rate amongst young people is just soaring. Suicide is now the leading cause of death for young people, suicide. And what they're attributing it to is social media because of the absolute vile crap that people post, how they attack each other, how they become so toxic that it actually affects the mental health of people. This is real simple. Until this council or a judge tells me I have to let people do that, you're not going to do it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
no, I just find it convenient that all of these comments, which, like I mentioned, is you can view them as negative towards an election campaign, happen right during your campaign. And when I was questioning some of your campaign stuff, that's when you cut me off. You cut me off of your site. My wife was, well, she hasn't been cut off yet. But I think I was cut off because I was putting no more wrecks. Those were my posts. It said no more wrecks. And that's when I got cut off. That is not inappropriate. If a school-age child's seen that,
So you think you should come onto my page, my Facebook page, and say no more wrecks?
I was doing that on a
that's
city
okay. I mean,
page.
how is that conveying any information at all? I have known for many years now that you wish I wasn't mayor. But how does that convey any meaningful information to anybody?
it's a campaign. You're running a $600,000 campaign. We don't
Is that
have
what you
the.
think?
Well, that's what article in the AV
What
Press.
the article said, there were 600,000 over 16 years is what I have personally invested into the campaigns, and the campaign account owes me that money. That doesn't mean I put 650 in this time, but trust me, I would if I thought it was necessary.
Right.
I would absolutely do it if I thought it was necessary. Okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
Thank
We're
you.
good.
And to be clear to everybody, I have not posted anything vile on these websites. I've disagreed, but nothing's ever been vile or inappropriate for children. Okay?
Thank you. Fran?
Don't get shot.
Oops, sorry. Sorry.
Wait a minute, Fran, before you start, you know, maybe what we should do is, why don't we hire a consultant to come in and look at this issue? What is the effect of this posting? What does it have on our future economic development? What is the effect it has on our citizens and their willingness to be engaged in the community? I suspect that the reason we're having trouble finding people of substance to be engaged is because who needs it? Who wants it? But I'd like to have some real science behind it. But I am confident there is nothing illegal about shutting off all comments. It's just when you pick and choose. And because we can't pick and choose, what choice do we have? That's my reasoning on it.
And the effect on the kids.
What?
The effect on the kids.
Listen, what social media is doing to our young people.
I hate it.
If I had it to do over again, my kids would never, ever touch it.
I agree.
Hi, Fran.
Good afternoon, or is it good evening now? Let's all smile, and it's been a rough day all day for everybody. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and staff, and everybody here. We all work hard, I know, and I agree. A lot of the stuff that's on social media for kids is awful. Anyway, I agree with you. I wanted to come up and, I had a problem yesterday. My electrical in my house was turned off abruptly, I was going to make a phone call, and the phone started to ring to whom I was calling, and my phone went dead, and all the lights went dead in my house. Everything, all the electricity was turned off. The thing of it is, and I was not told ahead of time. Usually when they're going to turn off the electricity in the household, they give us notice at least a week or so, at least a few days so we can plan for it. That's going to happen. And so my whole day, it was cut off at 9 o'clock. And I didn't know, I was going to go to, started to go across the street to my neighbor, but I couldn't even open my garage door to get my chair to go across the street to see if they had electricity, because I thought maybe it was just my house. But I said to myself, well, I paid my bill, so it couldn't be that. But, you know, because they're always working on it. But anyway, so I found out it was just my whole block where I live, then the alleyway and the other side of the alleyway. But the thing of it is that I'm griping about is they didn't let us know. And I'm not, for myself, I had a lot of things I was hoping to accomplish, but gave me a chance to take a nap. But I start to worry about the people that are that have medical equipment that they have to live, to live by and do. And a lot of people don't know that they should keep the refrigerators and freezers closed. So, and if they're open, they don't realize that. So what happened was my neighbor saw me at my front door as I was trying to walk with my canes and whatever apparatuses I need to get across. And I was telling him, and so he went to his house, which was across the street, but he had electricity. So he came back later, and he went down the street, which is my 3 minutes are up already? Oh, my Lord. Anyway, it turned out that my friend went to them, and they didn't close. They said, well, and that was already 2 o'clock. I was waiting and hoping that it would turn on automatically, but they were going to close it. They still had 2 more hours, which meant not until 4 o'clock. So we went from 9 o'clock in the morning till pretty close to 4 o'clock before we had electricity. And I'm going.
When have I ever made you sit down?
But that was my main thing. Oh, I have something I think would be nice. I had something else, but I don't want to say it today. It's not a good day. You know that property, that park or area you have right there on the corner of Jackman and Fern? You know? Why don't you turn that into a pickleball park? Because it's not used for any. The only one that use it are the homeless. It's not used at all. Nobody goes there and plays anything. And, or a tennis court or something. We make it, but it's not used for anything. I mean, I shouldn't say for anything.
Sonia, why haven't we?
Yeah, why haven't we?
Great idea, Fran. And in fact, we are looking at that as a future project.
Yeah, that's because I told you. That's why you're
activate
looking
it. Yes. Fran gets all the credit.
No, I just was thinking, I says, all that space is, because I thought, well, maybe, we could put in conjunction with the senior center, which is across the street. But since we're all kind of a little bit over the hill.
Have you noticed that there's less homeless the past 2 weeks?
Oh, yes, I've noticed that a lot, because where I live, it used to be pretty bad. But luckily, thank God I don't have a problem. I mean, I haven't had a problem, them coming to my house, because I don't really have. But yes, I've noticed it, and I thank you very much.
The count was actually, we have less homeless than we did a year ago.
Yes, you do.
Not
I
many,
could see it,
but
because
yeah.
because they used to hang around that.
But our chief of police has developed some wonderful techniques to encourage.
What do you put in the mouse
transients
traps?
to-
No.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you. Greg Basham?
Yeah. Thank you, sweetheart. Shall we dance?
I wouldn't mind it.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff. I'm here again this month. I was here last month. And I'm here to, like, give you guys a way to go. For 3 of your staff members, definitely a big thank you. Val, Trollis, and Sarah. I don't know if you guys know them. But anyway, I came here, I had some concerns. They reached out to me and called me, and we had really great conversations. And what came out of those conversations was something that I was unaware of, and now it's like, holy whatever, this is fantastic. It's called Inform Lancaster. It's an app that post and this and that and being like negative. How about you take that stuff and go on that app, and if you've got a gripe or a concern or you see an issue, take responsibility and put it in that app. And guess what? I did, and I got called back like the next day. I think it might even been the same day that I was reporting cars that were parked on lawns and just, there's so many things that you could actually choose from. So I want to say kudos to you, Mayor. You know, I'm going to assume you had a lot to do with this, but yeah, come on, with the negative comments on Facebook pages and stuff like that, instead of being so negative, be positive and help the city make this a better place for everybody. I mean, I want to help, and I'm willing to help. So yeah, I mean,
being a good teammate, Greg.
Pardon me?
It's called being a good teammate.
Oh, absolutely. You know, yeah. I played sports when I was younger. I probably can't do it now. I probably can't even do pickleball. But yeah, so you guys, I just want to tell you kudos on that website or app, and I'm going to keep using it. And I am here for 2 little gripes still. Could we get the curbs painted red in front of the mailbox clusters? It'll help the USPS pull up with their truck right there at the box, and they'll be able to drop off the mail, not go around parked cars. So that's all I'm just asking. Paint the curb red so it's a no parking zone.
Makes sense.
Okay. And Mayor, if I could, I'm going to ask your permission first. I made this little sign up, and I don't want to put it.
You got to turn around and show it to the
That's
crowd
what
in order
I
get it
want
on
to
the
ask
camera.
you first. So anyway, guys, and everybody in the court, I'll read it. It says, download this app now, Inform Lancaster, start using it tomorrow. And then, of course, vote for our Rex Paris. So I don't know if that's legal to do in a city council meeting, but I kind of heard a bunch of people yakking about the election. And as always, I voted for you every time. I'm going to be voting for you again. And if I could help in any way, let me know. That's it.
Get your friends to vote.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, please. And I'm from Chicago originally, and it's a thing. I'm from Chicago. I need 2 ballots. So.
I'm not going to comment. Jacqueline Gomez.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name is Jacqueline Gomez, as you might have already
Okay,
said.
Jacqueline, I'm deaf, so you gotta really
Speak up.
project. Okay.
Okay, like this? Anyway, my name is Jacqueline Gomez. I am a student at Antelope Valley College. I am here to represent political science. and I have a few questions for you, if that's okay.
Okay, louder.
Oh, sorry. Is it okay if I ask questions?
Sure.
Okay. For the first question, you mentioned earlier some progress you've had with homelessness. I want to know more about how you're doing this and how you plan to continue removing the homeless and helping if they need.
Well, it's a broad question, you'd agree, right? And I was at the Sheriff's Department this afternoon, and I was listening to how they were discussing the issues. And, you know, there's a difference between people who are homeless, who need a home and want a home, and want a job. You know, they want to elevate their circumstance, from the transients that don't want a home. They don't want medical care for their drug addiction. Let's face it, they came out of the jails, came out of the prisons when we closed down the prisons. When we offer them services, they refuse the services. Right now, and I know people don't agree with this, and I want to be clear. Right now, everybody in this city who needs a bed, we have a bed. Now, that doesn't hold true when it's raining or when the weather drives people to find some type of shelter. We don't have a bed for everyone on those particular days. But the people who want to have a place to live, right, we have one for them. The drug addicts, the people suffering with substance abuse problems. Teen Challenge has told us that anybody who needs a bed, they have one for. Now, it'll be out of the area sometimes. We have to transport them, but they will transport them. And they have a very good success rate, right? Everybody who wants it can have it. The reality is most drug-addicted people do not believe they can get clean, and so they never go into treatment, is what my experience has been. It is the hardest thing they will ever do, to get clean after being addicted. And I understand why they don't think it'll work and they don't want it, but that doesn't mean you get to plague our community. You know, the transients tend to want to live around the shopping centers and around places they can burglarize, you know? Because they don't have a car. You know, you got to carry all that stuff you steal, right? And at the shopping centers, you know, I think every woman in this city by now has had the experience of being frightened by one of these transients almost demanding money from them, you know? Let's not make any mistake. We want those people gone. They are not our friends. We are not here to help them. We are here to move them out. But there is a very big difference between them and people who have fallen on hard times and just need help. We have built the state-of-the-art homeless shelter, for lack of a better word, but it's so much more than a homeless shelter. You know, it's a community. It's a community where people can graduate up into an apartment living. We are slowly but surely rebuilding Sierra Highway. And my priority there is single mothers and then families. But I think that single mothers are the ones who are most at risk, most victimized. And I don't want one child in this city being raised in the back seat of a car. I just don't want to see that. And so that's where we're focusing our energies. And we're pretty close, I think, to solving that issue, aren't we? I mean, for the people that are here. But while we're doing that, we have to dance this dance of keeping a wave of people from LA coming up. We are not building this for LA's problems. We are building this to help our people, to help our families, to make a place for our families to be able to thrive. You know, I think it caught all of us off guard, just how big this problem got and how quick it got there. But that's what happens when you close prisons and thousands of inmates are let out early. They let them out without any care in the world about how do you treat their drug problems? How do you treat their health problems? How are they going to eat? Where are they going to live? Where are they going to sleep? No, it was just close the prisons and let them out. Well, you know, we saw it coming. We saw this problem coming. That's one of the reasons for the alternative energy programs, because we now have sufficient capital to attack it head on, and that's what we're doing. I believe it is a compassionate program, but it's compassionate for everyone. Our hardworking families have an absolute right to go to the grocery store without fear. They have an absolute right to go to the parks and play as families without fear. You know, we're under an assault by these people. They let out. Why are we mixing them up? Homeless people who are having hard times, I will give the shirt off my back to. The others, it is not the shirt off my back I want to give them. Okay?
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, the other thing that you might be interested in is there is a homeless issue with college students, you know, and I hope they've been allowed, if they're in their cars, that they can stay in the college parking lot with security. I thought that was something that was resolved a while ago. But we're also looking into building housing across the street from the college for that population. You know, it's hard enough going to school. I couldn't imagine doing it without a home or, you know, suitable living. So that's something we're also working on. But we're getting there. We're just not done yet. Okay?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you.
Well said.
Mona Russom? Did I get it right? You'll never see it coming? You still here? Okay. I was kind of anxious to hear that one. I got them all mixed up, Marvin. So
Ken did it.
Well, you know, at Ken's age, he gets confused easily. I mean, but it's okay. He's not always confused. It's usually just after sundown, isn't it, Ken?
And just after the sun comes up.
Mariah Dotson?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Mariah Dotson. I'm the founder of Evolution of Healing. We're a wellness center in Courtsill, West Lancaster. We've been there for 7 years. I really wish I was coming with better energy today to share with you the challenges that we've been having in West Lancaster. But in December, our wellness center was held up in an armed robbery. A week later, we were broken into. Just last week, the pharmacy was held up in another armed robbery, and our wellness center was broken into the very next day. And so, as someone who's had to learn to thrive in Lancaster, build a hardworking business for my family, with the mission of seeking to serve my community with wellness products, with the opportunity at wellness, I'm here just seeking wise counsel from you guys on what is something that we on West Lancaster could really do to protect our team, to protect ourselves, and to protect our businesses.
Would you like me to respond?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Please.
Rod, I'd like you to get out, get your people out there and harden the target. That's what we call it, is hardening the target. We want to make your business the business they don't pick, not the business they do pick, right? Now, I'm painfully aware that we don't have enough deputies. And they tell me, you don't have enough of us. And that's why we're doing the police department. And that's building. Eventually we will have enough that will pick up the slack. But that's still going to take some time.
Yes, sir.
The one thing that I'll just say it, when I've talked to the sheriff's department, some of the, we got a great captain now. I don't have any complaints with the department we have. I just wish we had twice as many, because that's what we need. But until then, there are times when we are going to be on our own. You will call 911, and it just help cannot come because they're engaged in life-threatening issues, right?
Of course.
That means we have to teach our population, our people, how to protect themselves. I'm going to, or the council is, well, I haven't talked to them yet about it, but, I'm going to. And I know their hearts. We're going to start with women first, training them on how to use a handgun, and we're going to help them get a handgun. We are going to take care of ourselves in this community, and we will do it with you. And I wish I could make people stop burglarizing each other and shooting each other and doing the things they do to each other. I just wish they would quit saying nasty things on the social media. I can't even get them to do that. But we can catch them when they do it, and we can help you protect yourself. And we're going to put a lot of resources in that. Right now, the sheriff is loosened up on gun permits.
Okay.
But it takes forever.
10 days.
You're 2 years out.
Right.
We will roll out this program, and it will be rapid. You have to take the training.
Yes, sir.
You have to do the background, and you'll get the permit. We're not going to be giving permits to people who are not trained.
Of course.
Or anybody who has mental health issues. That means Marvin doesn't get one.
Do you live in Lancaster, or do you live in the county?
I live in Antelope Valley. I actually just bought a 40-acre ranch in Antelope Valley.
We're talking about their location. You put on your card a location.
Yes, Lancaster.
City limits?
Yeah, well, where do you guys describe 50th Street West? Right next to Quartz Hill Medical Clinic. That's the center I'm talking about.
I don't think that's city limits, actually.
It's LA County.
And it's
Is
not
it
that,
considered?
it's not that we don't want to help you. I mean, you
No,
have
of
to live
course.
in the city of Lancaster to get the gun permit.
Okay.
That's just the law. And it's not that we don't want to help you. It's just that that's not in our jurisdiction.
Okay.
But, let's be honest. It could have happened if you were, I mean, my house was burglarized with me in it twice,
It's scary.
The, second time I got go down there with my shotgun. Don't have any clothes on, scared to death. Jack went in.
The burglar left laughing.
No, it's a horrible sight. I'm sure that he's suffering post-traumatic stress.
It wasn't the gun.
But it wasn't the gun. Only to find that the gun was unloaded. So I realized I need some additional training here.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we're going to do.
We appreciate that very much so.
It's not a, it's not a lot. I mean, I tend to laugh at things that make me really uncomfortable. I understand that we are now introducing something that increases the threat level, but I don't know what else to do.
No, I'm with you. As a member of the United States military and the NRA, I definitely agree, so.
Okay.
I appreciate that. In the meantime, is there a potential community officer who could potentially patrol that area?
If you were in the city limits, we could.
If we were, okay.
See that gentleman in the back, very back with his hand up?
Mm-hmm.
That's the county representation.
Okay.
You could talk to him, and he could probably, we will help you, and we
Okay.
will help him,
Yes.
but we need to coordinate it.
And
Yes,
and
sir.
our people will go out and help you harden the target.
Oh, no, you guys have every time we've called, so you've been very good with your response, and I appreciate that. I know all of the women in that center do as well, so thank you, guys.
I just want to add one more thing, Mayor, Vice Mayor. Councilman Mann and I talked about Neighborhood Watch. Something else that the city of Lancaster is implementing is Business Watch. So I know that center has additional businesses. I would strongly recommend setting up a business watch. So
Okay.
getting together with the other businesses in that location and hardening the target, setting up some kind of communication system where you guys are looking out for each other's businesses and whatever that communication platform is that works best for you guys.
Absolutely.
Trying to loop in your surveillance systems if you guys have cameras.
Okay.
Just so that you guys are all, just like a neighborhood watch would do.
Absolutely.
Doing that for your businesses. Again, I go back to be teammates with each other and take care of each other. And I don't know what service you are, but go Army.
Yeah, Hua. All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Is that it?
That's it.
Good. Any comments from the council? The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 26, 2024 at 5 p.m. The meeting is adjourned. Carol, my day is done.